sick too, because, you know, like I feel bad because, you know, coming into this week, I don't go outside, so I don't get sick. But unfortunately for you and Zoe, you got hit by the freaking bubonic plague or something, you know? But I imagine all the players like me only play Marvel Rivals all day
don't
and
do
never
that.
leave their house.
Elsa.
They start an upshift.
Elsa.
Immediately going to see that Gambit and then
Swamp Gaming won. I could already tell right off the straight chat. Swamp Gaming won.
You mentioned earlier too, like
I could already tell right off the band. Swamp Gaming won.
Also sometimes.
Yeah, Regis is another one of those players I honestly should have called out. Was looking just like robotic with aim. Was so locked in on that hit scan. So looking forward to seeing what that looks like today. And folks, just a reminder, going to be on the old patch. Even going into the weekend here, you're not going to be seeing Black Cat out here and all those changes coming through. That'll be later on down the line. So just keep that in mind as we go into this weekend. Going to be on the last patch.
Yeah, we've had some sweeping changes in Season 7. I mean, at the beginning of Season 7, just to go back to it, the ultimate nerf across the board, 20%. And then, you know, with the CC changes coming up and the next patch, not this one, like you mentioned. The Invisible Woman Protect is, I think, quite interesting into that Mantis ban, too. We've seen the prioritization of Mantis and how strong that could be, especially alongside that Elsa Protect that they get through, considering that was before the second ban of the Mantis, and then immediately getting that Invisible Woman mismatch. And you know, I'm kind of curious if that pans out, considering how strong Invisible Woman can be, especially peeling off divers on Domination. What do you think about that, Shib? Like, do you think you need that Invisible Woman mismatch, especially with how good Doctor Strange is?
Yeah, you know what? But I'm kind of with you. I like the idea of it. I think that's one of those unique things that we were talking about.
I understand what LUNEX is trying to do, but
I was gonna say,
Swamp Gaming banned Elsa, banned Gambit, banned Mantis. They saved Elsa and Tank Deadpool, which are two of the strongest characters right now.
On the side of LUNEX to change things up.
I do like. I don't think you're gonna wait. Why would you? No.
Keeping Invis on your side is always good. And again, like you have so many options. You have self peel. You have a lot of damage.
I mean, I think they were scared that maybe that was going to get banned, but
or even Vanguards. If you're looking at Vanguard pool here from Tones, it's a really strong selection. And if you have an Invis shield at your side, you're even more threatening. So there's just a lot of options. Great strategist right now.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, I think the Mantis ban had to also kind of target it too a little bit due to the fact that Strange with the Mantis damage boost can be tough to deal with alongside Invisible Woman. So it's sort of that goes back to that pick your poison type situation that we brought up earlier. Meanwhile, Vanguard, Deadpool, Protected for Swamp Gaming, they got to keep playing it, but it's not banned across both sides. So that's still going to be available. But Chip, this is going to be our first game of the day, man, on Domination out of all things between Swamp Gaming and LUNEX, where, you know, LUNEX looked like that kind of, you know...
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this.
Swamp Gaming, they kind of came out unmatched of Group A, which was very interesting because of how strong that group is. And I think it's what better map to start off on than Domination too, because this is LUNEX. Like
triple support is still meta, but it's not played as much as
against Swamp Gaming with their whole comps.
Yeah, and
as others,
right? Their backs against the wall
right now. I think honestly, a lot of the times
you see teams that are getting confident.
Sometimes you do see 2-2-2.
They kind of get too comfortable, maybe. And this is, this is the opportunity LUNEX needs to kind of make more of a name for themselves. Not that they haven't already; they've looked really good, but this is a huge win potential for them. Going against a team like Swamp on a map that they have success on 2-1, this could be everything. We'll find out in a moment what it looks like, but I'm liking the comps on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to start off with a little bit of Wolverine on the side of Swamp Gaming with that Hulk to go for those pickoffs in the sky. So we'll see that kind of come through. Meanwhile, early portal by Iffy and crew to control the objective first, which is, 20 seconds to point on Swamp Gaming don't necessarily have to make a move just yet. They'll probably want to set up these flanks with Valentina, maybe set up a Median to get as well high instinct as well to make sure that Elsa really gets the value you need out of her. But look at that target. Focus immediately towards that. Nice job to focus Iffy, but he's saved by that Hulk bubble. Slows the fight down a little bit. It doesn't end up mattering, though. Amadian, nice shots to remove Iffy, as well as the follow-up, the heals to keep Amadian alive. That's already one gone. And maybe you can come back with the portal play. Point was almost capped, but not under control. Able to take down Amadian. So
they are the first ones to get a pick.
Swamp Gaming. Nice kidnap to slow down.
Maybe I was wrong, chat.
For now, but you have to get that KO in the Hulk form. They give up the point at the current moment just for that KO. But is it worthwhile in the long term of this fight as LUNEX have control of the objective? They walk in with that Deadpool ultimate, built it up fast from Scatter Genji.
Also, I think
do they actually find those KOs? It looks like the answer is no.
I think they have the game voice really low, but like the casting really high. I can't turn up the game voice chat. The game sound.
Control it. Scatter tries to zone out the back line. Too much damage coming out of him.
Yeah.
At the current moment with that Deadpool, Median also comes back with low instinct, so those cooldowns not going to be as fast as you would maybe like. Matched by the invisible boundary and a Luna Snow ultimate on the opposite side.
Yeah, a lot of commitment here. I think they're getting a lot of value right now out of that. Wolverine off map goes silent with a 2-piece. That's going to be a ton of value again for LUNEX, who are at 40% and climbing. Forky going to drop back, try to find some value with the clap, and they, wow, they almost get the point. That was crazy, but they do not. LUNEX doing a great job maintaining position here. Logan pops off. Tones is the same here and does find Forky. And once again, LUNEX are up in numbers, and they're holding tight.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Tones being an absolute star player. Those White Fox ultimates stalling out the point. He comes back in with that Monster Hulk, and now you have the on the backside able to take down Redis, but that's only one, and that's kind of the big point for the side of Swamp Gaming is they keep finding, one KO every time, but then are having a hard time closing out. You have the Venom on the backside from Iffy trying to also
LUNEX is doing a really good job right now.
We just, gassed up a lot leading into the broadcast, have just had a tough time against this tank line. You talked about Tones, man. He's been so good.
Yeah, this is disgusting play here from LUNEX.
I thought this was going to be a 3-0, not even close. Swamp Gaming, like a Virtus Pro 200-0, like we just saw.
Here for LUNEX, this is clinical. We talked about them needing to step up in this moment, and they jumped up, man. They jumped a couple steps here. They're looking really strong, and they have one more fight to win here for them to take this first map. I haven't, there's just so much value from the side of LUNEX, and honestly, Swamp with Days, those tackles early from Wolverine, I thought it was going to be it, but just not quite enough. Way to maintain positioning, even being down numbers and in all. And now another early pick.
No way, bro. No way they're about to lose a map.
There. If he's taking the height and more engagement, and again, they're all just healthy right now, holding on. OT ticking down. This might be map 1.
Yeah, Days has to go big with this ultimate right now, has to commit it, but do you get the KOs? That's the thing. They're into the Jeff ult on the backside from Silent Plays, so the supports, the strategist keeping LUNEX healthy. Amating comes in with that Glartrox, finds the KOs through the Luna Snow ultimate. That's huge, and brings back Swamp Gaming finally. White Fox ultimate too late from Logan just to stall it out a little bit. But that was a massive Glartrox. I wonder if that's going to happen in the future fights. As both straddles were committed for LUNEX, at least they committed a ton of ultimate shib. Swamp Gaming finally have control.
Yeah, and a crucial thing to call out for Swamp, for the, just for the folks in the chat. I mean, notice again the duelist being cycled, but this time Melophobia is going to be taking a seat back there, and you're going to see Days.
I thought it was going to be 100-0, man.
So I mean, this whole team.
Also, I love these face cams, bro. I'm so glad they have these face cams.
The duelist line, they've just got a lot of talent, and I think right now they're, maybe it could bite them in the butt, but right now it's looking clean on the retake. But that being said, 99% here for LUNEX. Ult advantage going to be in favor for Swamp. What does the Fox say here in a moment as Valentina finds one? Goodbye on another pick there under the side of Tones.
Yeah, good counter dive. Also, diving on Domination at the very least.
Also, that is something very interesting. Swamp Gaming is running the
player we mentioned in the
what do you call it?
That duelist Deadpool
White Fox, but they're running the White Fox in a 2-support team comp. They're running 2-2-2. Usually, we see White Fox with 3 supports, chat, like the other team. LUNEX is running the White Fox, but they're also running the Jeff and the Inviswoman.
But as long as Silent and them can kind of live in this 3-stack, they'll be able to get out with their lives, maybe build up towards ultimates. They just committed that White Fox in the previous fight, but they have to keep Amating alive. And right now, he's caught out. 1 HP eventually goes down to Redis. Nice engage on the backside with that Venom alongside Hulk ult, but that Hulk ult gets stunned, CC by the clobbering time of Krasmang, but can they find KOs after this? Aggressive plays by Logan to find Valentina. That's a good trade. As the Hulk player goes down, you at least trade Valentina the backline. Days with the ultimate can go huge, though. Does go big if he goes down. Nice job from him, but he's swallowed by Silent Blaze, who connects onto that Wolverine. Can they find him in the meantime? Someone tries to set it up, but he backs off. No, he actually doesn't try to. He spits him off the map instead of going for the KO. And they actually.
There is no way Swamp Gaming actually brought still is like in this game.
Just committed a little bit too early. You're gonna lose value there because now you got to wait it out. That 20 seconds going to be ever less. In terms of timing, I mean, now you're waiting for those spawns to come through, and now you commit. But oh my goodness, Silent Blaze!
Oh no!
About that portal, it doesn't even matter as the commitment comes through. Iffy on the back line now, able to find Valentina. 3 up in numbers, and this could be the map for them. But what a retake here from Swamp! But it doesn't matter because LUNEX come
forehead
back
cam.
Like going to be a portal play
I like
back.
this.
We'll see in a moment as Redis finds 2. Will I see 3 here? Ultimates available. Glartrox goes out. Tone's able to find a Madian. And they win map 1. LUNEX looking good off the rip.
Wow.
Well, and this was kind of what I was talking about. Like for LUNEX's side, they're very good at domination. For Swamp Gaming, they kind of brought it back and, obviously have a lot of experience, formerly of Team Nemesis, and now coming through with this squad. But LUNEX, I mean, they had 99% control of the point. They were able to kind of secured that objective. Also with that portal play you mentioned, Shib, they came through with the invisible boundary. Nothing to match on Swamp Gaming side, who
good
just
enough
didn't
for them to
disengage.
ban her?
I don't know, man. What do you think?
I feel like I'm not
LUNEX
forced
in terms
to switch
of that
to more
ult management. Also, Tico going over to Invisible Woman has been beautiful.
More often than not.
Yeah, honestly,
well,
there's been really good value out of Jeff.
Mantis
I think in this preseason,
in your comp and quick play games is very different than Mantis in your
universally known. The hero's really strong right now in this current
organized pro tournament.
Really strong on Jeff. He can play very aggro. He can heal through dealing damage into the back line.
Mantis is really good because of her damage boost. And when you run Mantis, usually they run Mantis in a triple support team comp. Also, what I really like, I don't know if I'm... I'll turn them down a little bit. What I really like from Swamp Gaming, what they did is that they changed their support lineup. Listen, I think Valentina and Forky Dog are goated support players, but I don't think they were playing the strongest support. I don't think you can play White Fox in a 2-support team comp, chat. I think it's hard. I think she's more of a 3-support team comp.
But they need to find Tones and Iffy, who have been cycling too well. You slow down that front line, go in for that dive with the bubble, keep that Venom in there. Green's already used from the Loki, so trying to hard.
Now they have better healing comp, in my opinion. I do like the Cloak and Dagger with the Loki Cloak and Dagger as well. Wow, they lost both supports, though. That's not good.
Tough. Removes everybody instantly, and I don't like this full commitment towards this counter dive comp. It's not really working for Swamp Gaming at the current moment. At least Valentina, okay, didn't use that copy in the previous fight.
Yeah, it was attempting it, but then canceled. So good wherewithal there, to be honest, from Valentina to be able to cancel that, because that would have been detrimental. But outside of that, now you can see once again LUNEX up early in percentage on point. And for those in chat, grabbing domination points early is how you win domination. It's all about stalling now for the side of LUNEX. And when you have Hulk and Iffy over there on the Venom, you have a lot of that stall. Logan's gonna find one.
What is Swamp Gaming doing, bro?
And that is another massive pick on an incredibly strong hero. Logan playing in that flank with Tones.
They
now
just lost their strongest character.
Silent, like we're saying, spraying everybody. Backline
and
their own team. And there goes a nice tackle from Daze, trying to head right back towards the duelist. Is that going to be a pick? No, down goes Silent, trying to find an answer with the It's Jeff. Great exile here.
Oh!
Valentina.
What an insane exile on someone that's flying and then killed. Oh my god!
At the very least, from the side of Swamp Gaming,
did you guys see that? Holy shit!
Juggling on your backline, built that jackpot as well. You find one, but it isn't enough. Take control yet again, Shib. And,
didn't want to curse.
That was
you saw how I saved myself right there?
You talked about him being a key player. He's really showed up here.
Watching a good Hulk player is really satisfying. Too bad they're not going to be able to do that in Season 7.5.
Not afraid, right? If you have a Hulk that's playing very aggro and understands cooldown management, and you have that triple backline to commit with you, and while you don't have as much burst healing per se in this composition, you know that you're gonna have eyes on you no matter what. So even if you can stall for a little bit with that bubble, you can get healed up and re-engage once more. Median on the flank here, look for this ultimate. This could be massive here for a Median. It needs to land. 63% and climbing for LUNEX, but the pick comes through from Redis, making it 2.
Wow.
Come on now, the Quadra is holding on at 71% and climbing.
Beautiful ultimate committed. They're also staggering as well. Scatter has to go run off the map into the spikes. That's
got him before he fell off. That's funny.
And at the moment, this is brutal, man. Like, it's just Swamp Gaming have no control of these flank angles that LUNEX are hard controlling. I mean, you can see Logan's controlling it with even more people, like you mentioned, Silent Blaze, who, I think I was harsh on in previous weeks, looks so free. I don't know, Swamp Gaming with this specific composition, they might be able to win this upcoming fight, but it's how they win the future ones. It's how they can maybe set up days for the future. Scatter goes to that portal, at least they TP, maybe set up some awkward moments for LUNEX, but they have to control with these ultimates right now, otherwise it's over for them, as LUNEX finally have ultimate straddle. It's in the back line. LUNEX built up to one. Redis again with that ban hammer. Throws it out immediately. Scatter falls so low. Gets grabbed so low on the backside. Crash comes
nice
back
shot.
on Captain America.
Or,
At least add up a little bit of different pacing.
Yeah, it's
for
still pretty
Gaming,
good.
Which might be big because Tico went down with that invisible boundary soon. No more straddles on the side of LUNEX, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the aggression. Daze can't do anything. His ultimate finally comes out. Finds one. Finds Redis. Maybe gets Logan too. That's huge how everybody just came into the claws of Daze, who grasps them within his own command, bringing back Swamp Gaming self-handedly, or single-handedly.
No, I'm 100% with you. That was just clean plays by Daze there. I was worried there for the side of Swamp Gaming with the overcommitment, not necessarily overcommitment, but just the unlucky ultimate there from a Median doesn't seem to collide too much. Daze is able to find a 3-piece there, which was massive for them, but 35% in climbing here. LUNEX, their job now is to build Tones off, build Iffy, get Tico ready with Silent, press Q at the same time, win this fight, and that's it for game 1 in this best of 5. The question is, will Swamp be able to play clean enough to cut through some of that noise? We'll see here in a moment as the commitment comes through. Out they go as they walk forward with Valentina. The team going to drive LUNEX back, who doesn't care too much right now. They're just going to reset and allow that ultimate to fade away.
Yep, and they go through the portal
good disengage. Really good disengage.
From Amadian, but Amadian get hard pressured early. Oh my goodness, nice shots from Regis to follow up there as well. I mean, everybody backs up, cooldowns used again. We use the Cloak and Dagger ultimate, and then you have Cap ult after. But no more portal because you mentioned earlier they used it with Scatter. Also,
bro! Oh my god, dude!
Inevitably as well.
Dude, are you guys not seeing this from the Hulk player? That was insane!
A little bit longer, still in control of the point of Swamp Gaming, who are maybe biding time for days.
Bro!
Man, that's everybody! Oh my days! He's hungry, and he's absolutely smoked LUNEX.
Oh, that was just disgusting. I saw
wow,
that,
Days actually did save that for Swamp Gaming. We actually might be seeing a map 3, chat. That was a really good showing by LUNEX.
So that'll buy some time. Portal could come through now, but going to be down a number as Iffy's going to have to spawn through in the
LUNEX is really showing me that they're a great team, even though they were like, what, 7th, 8th seed? They barely made it here, chat. They're doing really well. Oh, that's actually feels bad, man. After I was just complimenting them.
Clean from Swamp Gaming on that round on Cradle. Actually, not clean. I mean, that was just messy as hell towards the very end. And it was going to be a tough fight to win, obviously, because the fact didn't have straddles just yet, and you're going against Wolverine. I mean, you know, that's so tough to jump through a portal against Wolverine, right? So huge work from Swamp Gaming to play around their win conditions. And man, that was so dicey. Krasming swap over to Captain America, Shib. What can you say about that? Was that maybe the change up that Swamp needed?
I mean, Kraz is, you know.
I wish they would show us the stats between rounds like they used to do.
But I'll tell you,
they don't.
They're
not showing us the stats between rounds. I would love to see the how both teams are playing.
Changes to Cap has enabled him to have a little more damage on his initiation of his combos, which makes it a little more threatening at all times.
What games have I missed? You missed all of EMEA. This is the first NA game though. Yo, Coach Straps, free subs at 5 months. How you doing?
In order to have the shield throw animation cancel ready, instead he
can
just press left click
appreciate
at any time
it.
and start that combo up. And Kraz takes full advantage of that. You're going to see here a lot of damage per 10 just by constantly annoying the team, getting eyes in different directions, and just pestering that back line, and does it so well. But again, shout out to the duelist line, Amadian and Days. Again, Melaphobia not here right now. They're stepping up in this moment, showing that we can duo up as well and find some success. But that first map, and you know, it's a little dicey because I do think LUNEX kind
of that his elbow?
A little bit there on map 2, but Swamp, kind of in a similar boat, is now looking more like themselves as Scatter finds one.
Yeah, Silent got kidnapped in that fight. White Fox ult too late to save them. So already down here, Jeff. Logan gets forced out of that White Fox ultimate, and Kraz comes back through and just backs them with those shield and left click combinations. Huge work by Swamp Gaming. Kidnapped by Day, set him up with that Rocket Raccoon jetpack. Point cap by Swamp Gaming first.
Yeah, again, Swamper looking like themselves. I think, you know, a map and a half is all it took there until their alarms went off, right? Their alarms are off, they're up, they're awake, and they're locked back in. The LUNEX got to get to a point where they're kind of just in flow state. They looked so strong early on, and they're struggling a bit now. I do think that switch and composition from Kraz is maybe enough for them to kind of struggle.
Yeah, that is actually very interesting. I think Deadpool is open for both teams, but one team is running DPS Deadpool, and one team is not running Deadpool in general.
Valentina does have ult available soon here as well.
Which is weird, because I think Swamp Gaming saved the tank Deadpool.
Without the Invisible team up or the Mantis, but I mean, Dr. Strange, you've seen how strong that hero's been in the past, at least this patch for sure. Tones pressured out early in the sky in the Venom, which is switched with Iffy, now playing that main tank role. But again, Kraz just smoked Silent Blaze, and that's the second fight in a row where Silent Blaze has been the target focus. Regis pops his ultimate late, but I mean, it's going to be, well, might be something, but I mean, with Valentina's pressure, the healing coming back, they have to use the ultimate, so it's at least it's forced more. And actually, Regis finds multiple KOs with the help of Tone, so the target focus is there. That's the value of LUNEX, but they have to play slow, wait out this ultimate committed by Valentina.
Yeah, it was, you know, I don't think it was the wrong choice because they were ulted in the back line there from Regis, so it was just a stall. But
anyway.
Yeah, not going to get enough value maybe for their own mentals, as we might see an Agamotto coming out here in a moment. And again, like you're saying,
oh, Fat Eye, chat, Fat Eye, Fat Eye, Fat Eye.
Meta, without the shields, it's great to run Strange, and that's why you see Iffy switching over to that Magneto, and that's going to be a two-piece from, again, Days and Amadian. Why not make it 3 here, Amadian? Do I see 4 in a moment onto Tones, who's trying to buy some time, and Days is going to be able to find another here with 30 HP. Still had passive available though.
He had his passive. Okay, LUNEX can still win this. They have 3 good ults. They have, which are 2 of them are support ults. Well, I mean, White Fox is White Fox ult, bro. I feel like sometimes White Fox is like useless.
for the side of Swamp Gaming, but it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness, without the ultimate, just baited Redis into a KO. Here comes the Meteor M, needs to connect, doesn't. And with that, Invisible Boundary committed, they can maybe stall it out a little bit longer.
Is he playing with one arm?
They have that Eye of Agamotto to counter this White Fox ultimate. If they all group up, maybe it's going to be tough. They actually get, okay, wait, Valentina goes down cross map. Eye of Agamotto come back to sort of peel that off, but right now, LUNEX all need to back up towards this point. They lose Logan at the very least. Redis with another one. Oh my god, Daze again! Are you kidding me? That's 3 in the fight with that last stand at the very end. Daze, such an intelligent player, gets it done. 100-0.
Wow.
Beautiful work from Swamp Gaming. They win the first map.
I was really scared for Swamp Gaming, but even though I think Swamp Gaming is going to win, chat, yo, LUNEX did a great job against, remember, LUNEX barely made it to the playoffs, chat. Swamp Gaming, well, they were first seed. They didn't lose a single, I think, map at all. So that was pretty fun.
Now, how many huge ults we have to see?
This is kind of what we mentioned in previous weeks as well. Like, I feel like the fact that you need to control these off angles was kind of big. You know, I imagine, like I said, like I don't know.
Wow, Daze went 32-3 on the Wolverine. 30,000 damage, 14 final hits. Wow.
But obviously, since he went to Doctor Strange, they turned it around, and same thing like you mentioned.
Wow.
On the Captain America, beautiful work, and then like you mentioned, the MVP Days, perfectly timed ultimates, a median.
I do think the reason Swamp Gaming won is not because of. I think the only reason Swamp Gaming won and the reason that they lost the first point is because they weren't running the correct supports. I'm not saying that their supports that they picked and they're bad at it. I think it's just there's better supports and they won with better supports. Yeah, hold up, chat. I gotta put my socks on, bro. My feet are freezing right now. I don't know if they're gonna go to the next game right away or take a break like they were doing for EMEA, but
it might have just been a little bit too late. But we'll see more of this, folks, right after this break.
Oh, gotta put the socks on, chat. You gotta put the socks on. No, you didn't miss it, chat. You didn't miss it. Oh, they're having a 2-minute break. Oh my god, I never heard this song before. Sorry, I had to put socks on. It's really cold in the house. Really cold. Hey, good plays by LUNEX though, man. Good plays. I want to see the grippers. What the? What the? I haven't heard this before. Is it Luna? Bro, yes, it's a best of 5. I'm not gonna lie. I think Marvel Rivals have some bangers for some music, chat. A winter gem for 16 months. I hope you're having a great day. Appreciate it. This song is Marvel Rivals. What do you mean you never heard this song, Jay? It was a joke, because usually when we watch Party, we hear this song 500 times, chat.
Welcome back, one and all. So we here joined by I Run Trib and Dogman. And guys, yes, Swamp Gaming took that first map. but they certainly
Throughout this time, this
At the
whole
very
live,
beginning
I've
there, I
been
felt like,
on. I went and
LUNEX
sang 9
actually
songs
makes
at a
this
bar,
very
got hella
competitive,
drunk,
they
and
seem to
completed a
have the right
puzzle.
formula,
I
right?
come
It was
back
like
to
just
my
that
phone, and
insane amount of
the stream is
pressure
still
with
playing.
their vanguards onto the backline
Hey,
from Swamp Gaming.
I just want to say,
They
the
were
people who
struggling
leave
in
the
Swamp
stream
Gaming
on
back there to keep the
while
backline
they're not
alive,
at their
because they
computer,
were constantly dying.
massive
But
W.
then the
Because you're
right
still
switches
giving
were
the
made at the
streamer
right time, and
an
maybe
extra
also
viewer.
a little bit of help from that,
Much
second
appreciated.
round from,
Shout out to the lurkers as well. The
themselves,
lurkers are W's.
that, may or may not
A
have resulted
Jedi,
in
appreciate the
victory.
massive
But
gift to sub, my friend.
overall, I do think that if not now, then when do opponents really know that you can't ever count out LUNEX Gaming? Like, they can punch up.
Absolutely. I mean, this team is, like we mentioned, very good on domination. I feel like in the first round they were controlling those off angles very well, and you know, like you mentioned, like you saw, like Amadian just couldn't really do anything. It was.
I've had you on all day at work. That's having a job, be able to like, you could watch Twitch while your job is one of the coolest jobs, I think. It must make days go by real fast.
Setup just really stopped.
Like, imagine just working and you get paid to watch Twitch. Like, that's sick.
I think the idea from LUNEX was they were kind of that snowbally brawl comp, and they were just charging into you, and you were really struggling to handle the pressure. But when you go that cap and you start doing the same thing to their backline,
I listen in my earbuds while I'm working.
I
don't know if you should do that, bro. Sometimes I say some weird stuff, and if you don't know the context and you're just listening to the sound, I think it's pretty weird.
Next thing you know, your whole team's gone. So it was a great switch. I like the strange switch too, because it applied pressure with ultimate. It forced them to go into the Magneto, and then at that point, they're playing the chess game, I think, just a little bit too late. And yeah, Swamp Game was just back into form.
Which is surprising because, quite frankly, like in round one, LUNEX got quite a lot of value from the switches they've made, right? And from the picks they had. So it felt like they have a really good read on the situation on the server.
I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I play it in the background.
Hey,
stay-at-home mom. That's a job. That's a W.
Also just map types.
That's a W.
Where do you see them feeling more confident?
Someone got to take care of the kids.
We could see Idrasil. I mean, you know, I think that's one of those consistent maps that, again, this could be a LUNEX choice, right? And that's a map they do like to run. I think that Idrasil does have a lot of that dive potential. There's a lot of off-angle plays, but I do think, again, that Idrasil's not a bad Wolverine map. There's a lot of angles that you can pull vanguards around and have your team have full focus. So we'll see what that looks like. There's a lot of sweeping angles and high ground.
I'll try that.
It's tricky. I'm not sure if that's the right play, but I do think that's what they might choose.
Yeah,
Speaking of Wolverines.
Oh, this is good.
Your thoughts here? I think you guys touched on it a little bit during the cast as well,
Let's
right?
try this sauce.
We obviously have one of those teams that are making a lot of use of their sub players. We saw Daze and Amadian in for this one over Mello. Do you expect
that is
change?
good.
Do you expect Mello to come back into this one, or we just keep on riding that Daze, like
man, that's
Wolverine
spicy,
or Daredevil or whatever gets through the ban phase?
Spicy food is good. It makes me feel something.
They probably switch back to Mello coming in only because, I mean, we've seen how good he is alongside you know, Days on these other map types on specifically Convoy Convergence. You can see like Domination they haven't totally figured out yet, and that's kind of also a Madian sort of maps. It's tough because they sort of have so many players to choose from in the duelist department. Not all these teams can have that flexibility, right? So they're very lucky in that regard, but also it's a blessing and a curse because they have to decide
Exile! Appreciate massive 2 months.
Before the match starts. But you can see the
they are on the current patch, yes. They're not on Season 8, Season 7.5. Season 8.
There is no like role now. Like you saw, Tico was on strategist at one point compared to like deep duelist and stuff. So I think you have to be flexible. And also this team, it's a little worrisome for LUNEX moving forward because like Ship said, you go to Idrasil, maybe you go to Museum of Contemplation or something. But regardless, this is going to be Swamp Gaming's sort of home. They're always good on these map types, and it's going to be a tough choice regardless.
Yeah, I think it's tricky to, I'm with you on the point of like, do they bring in Mello? And I don't know. I don't know if they do it yet because they won. I think if they lost, maybe that's like the idea. But it's also, it's really cool to have talent like that, to be able to swap all three and all of them are performing. But then it's also like, is it still kind of a tryout feeling, right? But does that motivate you? There's so much behind that I'm not really sure. Because, you know, we're still in the preseason here, folks. And for everyone to understand, these teams can very much still change. I want you to know that as we head forward as we start the season up. So there's a lot on the line. And I think everyone wants to
I don't do
perform,
good with spicy food, bro.
I don't know. So how do you feel about that?
I don't know how you guys can. Anyone in chat like spicy food?
Talked to the coach from Swamp
I don't know how you guys can do it, bro. When I eat spicy food, sure, it's hot, but it comes out even spicier.
Individual players are bringing to the table.
I don't know how you guys do that.
Like, they are like not just willing, but they're like determined to use all of these players. They feel like it's giving them a leg up because you have that extra man who can come in and like change the look. It also takes a
like,
bit of
I don't know.
pressure
Have you guys ever went to like
some of your
a
teammates
fast
because you
food place,
don't
like
need to
say
get expert at
McDonald's, and got their
everything if you have
Sprite?
someone else
Their
with, like, a
Sprite
different
is really
skill set
spicy.
that
Like,
can
I think
come
that's
in.
my max.
But that also, of course, makes it a little bit more readable because the opposition will know, oh, player X is being swapped in. Therefore, we can now expect this to come out, this particular look to come out of the team. So it can work both ways. It's a double-edged sword, right? Also, of course, being the player sitting on the bench and then not coming in with hot hands. That doesn't
Yo,
work
Deeber,
for every
appreciate massive,
player.
get this
That
up, my
takes
friend.
a specific type of player who can just come in and perform under the amount of pressure, because usually you're getting subbed in when change is desperately needed, meaning you're down in the series.
Yeah, that's kind of LUNEX's former opponent.
If food is coming out spicy, then you got health issues. Actually, you don't. Did you know?
Because they have SJW on the bench for.
I forgot what the word is, but
kind of a similar situation.
it's like a
very good
sensation down there. It's actually it
still looked solid and fluid.
Reacts with the spicy food or like the
online, for example.
Yeah, there you go.
Beef,
My chat knows.
Some pros and a Median, a Median taking shots, vague posting almost on social media on X.
Vague posting, subtweeting.
Yeah, subtweeting. Can't say that anymore. That shows we're boomers, though. If you say that.
Sub-Xing.
Sub-Xing.
Yeah. Right, we're running with it. We're also running with the second map now. Can LUNEX bring this one back in time?
Okay, chat, let's see this.
Find out.
All right, brother, here we go again. Idrasil, what do you know? Off the rip is going to be the selection and the exact same bans right now. I don't think if I'm Swamp, I need to change too much on the banning.
LUNEX!
You see
ban!
from Kraz there.
Ban! Elsa!
Selected, but it's very cool
Why?
to see the idea of a little Mr. Fanta. And goodbye. Or actually lock-in, excuse me, of the Invis.
Massive skill issue, get good.
Yeah,
I guess it's a skill issue. My bad, chat. I'm sorry. I don't have enough XP.
It makes sense considering how good it is, but it definitely, like, the change up to go away from the Gambit is interesting too, to make sure that's removed, not to focus on the Elsa. Swamp Gaming taking that yet again, and it's a little scary just because, I mean, you kind of give Amadian his comfort picks, right? Like, maybe you would think target focus onto his hero pool a little bit, make sure they can't play that Elsa. I understand how good
Day is not signed as a player. Day is just like Armori is signed as a content creator. Chat.
This is what Swamp Gaming are practiced on, right?
Organizations
like
can sign
just play a Median and then
streamers in this case as content creators.
Them on the previous map at least.
Yeah, and we're going to see the lock-in of Wolverine. I don't think that's a bad idea here for Swamp because I think it's a really good Wolverine map like we just talked about. And in these final bans, that's where you start to see more of those tricky, nuanced, targeted bans. We've seen Strange down here in the past, and
see, this is imagine Day Spider-Man in pro play. He would pop off. Okay.
In the last series,
what happens if he gets banned? What is he gonna do?
As well by both sides. So that's exactly why.
Oh, this is good.
Another lock this time. It looks like LUNEX might be thinking about running that Wolverine as well.
Yeah, this is what I kind of wanted them to do in the previous map. But like, I guess they couldn't because Tico, might have been playing it.
Will you join a organization as a content creator?
Duelist Deadpool. Like, maybe Redis could have pulled that or something.
Yeah,
I get that,
I would.
But maybe they felt awkward in terms of roles because Tico swapping to that Invis. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that? Is it going to be that?
I wanted to get your opinion on the fact that Duelist Deadpool was looking so good even after the changes. There was the animation cancel changes came in for Duelist Deadpool, and I honestly had the feeling that he wasn't going to be shown a lot. We saw it a little bit from We Lost, but now we're starting to see it again. It looked really strong until those changes came in. I'm not sure why, what happened. I think maybe the compositional change kind of made it more difficult for him, but yeah, I think he's in a good spot. But, okay, and I'm seeing the Groot here too. Me personally, me, buddy, that hypes me up. No triple comp, although I do think this is one of those maps that really lends itself to being successful with the triple Vanguard role. I don't know why we're seeing less of that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, just to talk about that real quick and then to go to the Deadpool point, like, yeah, I mean, it's not every team is good at it. I think we're seeing a lot more of these.
How does the organization make content creating easy for you? I don't think it's. I don't think when a content creator joins an org, it's making it easier for you, the content creator. I think it's
even from these pro teams take away like valuable practice time on certain.
It's like
that's kind of why
hiring a celebrity to do an ad. I mean, it's you like the celebrity, and then you might
the thing is Wolverine when you
become a fan of that product or something. I don't know.
Like the Deadpool is getting
oh
value,
shit, yeah, my bad.
Wrong, but
sure.
I mean,
when you're tribal fall, tribal fail, pre-season tier 1 sub.
Deadpool can kind of have that.
You're basically bringing more eyes and repping the org and whatnot.
Off the rip immediately. Yeah.
I was going to say, in Swamp also not afraid to pull out the C&D. We haven't seen a ton of Cloak and Dagger even in this preseason. And, you know, they are going to have a change coming up here tomorrow. But with that ultimate being reduced by 2 seconds from 13 to 11.
Hey, Boba.
But I think, you know, we've really only seen C&D in overtime situations. So seeing more of that being played right now, likely just for the damage boost. But still, it's a big problem. That's a fat boost as we see a tackle coming right now onto Tones. Able to drop back 300 HP. Able to hold on for the moment. Cooldowns getting burned goodbye to that Ironwood wall. So try to make sure there was no more follow-up.
Hey,
and there
Boba.
is the hold from Swamp starting to lock in around this first bend.
Yeah, pulling back in one. I mean, cooldowns used. Though the Phoenix coming into play as well with that team up with the Wolverine. Green's too late, unfortunately, although they used that copy. Invisible Boundary committed by the offense. So this Cloak and Dagger ult should last a little bit longer at the very least. Nice job with that Groot ult on the backside angle. No Greens to save them at the moment either. But it doesn't matter. The pocket here on the inside angle, already close back to those crystals. Cartel not pushing those.
Wait, that is weird.
Macro pretty well
Wait,
right
well,
now,
okay. 4He Dog went from 0% ult charge to 87. What the? AJ West, appreciate as a new tier 1 sub. Welcome, my friend. LeBron!
Prison goes downtown, does not land, but there's already the value right there in the fact that it was.
Where's LeBron at, bro?
Scatter, just holding that finger over the Q button, waiting to hear I am Groot, and just answering it immediately. There's another meteor ram. Is this one going to land? Bang. Goodbye to Kraz, as if he finds one, and LUNEX now has the momentum with 2 minutes and 21 seconds on.
Yeah, I mean, Swamp Gaming need to build up towards these Straddles at the very least, and maybe towards Daze ult. He's been big before. As long as Daze is here, it doesn't matter if they are down one. LUNEX give up so much space, too, considering this 2-2 lineup for Swamp Gaming has been so vigilant at the current moment. Like you said, that Groot ult eaten the last fight. Daze gets pulled in by Redis. Redis pulls in by Daze. So both Wolverines sort of mimicking each other. Nice wall, Groot wall to block off the back line. Daze also is pressured out low. Don't know if he has the passive in this upcoming fight, so he can't really fully set up. Crash trying to buy him a little bit of space, maybe set up this last stand with the invisible boundaries here from Logan. They all walk into it. Both Wolverines know what is potentially coming with these wolves.
This might be
pushed out. Also,
this might be a cap.
Help on this back line from
wow,
Daze.
hey, LUNEX.
Give it the point. We're going to second phase. Eventually, Swamp Gaming are whittled down.
Yeah, LUNEX are showing why they selected this map. They're looking very, very strong here off the rip. 4 minutes on for point 2 as we enter the streets phase. There's going to be a lot of flank angles here, like we're discussing. Ult advantage going to be just slightly in the favor of Swamp, but not for long as Tones will have that answer here with the Strangling Prison in just a moment. And now, yeah, LUNEX is going to have another answer, but a huge tackle comes through. That one not able to get too much value as we do see the crystals committed. That time from the side of Logan. Invisible Boundary goes out. Silent Blade.
Oh, they still were able to get a kill through the support ult. Wow.
Silent, one of the few controller players in the backline playing at this level.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge plays by the Strats. I mean, that's the tough part playing Wolverine against Wolverine and Magneto.
Wow, Swamp Gaming also used both support ults, but didn't even, like, win the team fight. That's concerning.
Passive proc, though. Here's the last stand on the opposite side. Doesn't even
that's not good, bro. If you commit both support ults, you gotta win that team fight, bro.
Loki crystals, but that's also resulting in them getting picked apart at the current moment. At the moment, LUNEX, with the swap up to the Wolverine, you have to wonder, you know, what would have happened in the last map if they switched up to this composition, because they're looking clean with it, shit.
Yeah, and we're going to see the setup now, and that's the advantage to having Groot, who, you know, looks great on this map, does have a lot of that setup potential, and you see the walls above right there. And that's a huge tackle coming in from Redis, pulling out some cooldowns and forcing out a meteor. And will that one find value? It does not. Redis able to play slow and steady, still has that last stand available, and keep eyes on for that. Could be massive as crystals get committed here for LUNEX. Down goes the Endsong Inferno, but hit comes through, 2, 3 comes through as Logan able to find another. Craze tries to take out one.
Damn, bro, I had Swamp Gaming
with a triple KO.
I had Swamp Gaming as my first seed NA game.
Yeah, this is
first seed NA chat.
Back into talking about the invisible movement.
This is
you know, maybe some of
this is starting to make me think otherwise right now. Uh-oh.
I mean, they're setting up LUNEX in really good positions, right? Like their backline rotated across the map. You have Swamp Gaming's backline forced to that choke. And with that rotation from LUNEX, they were able to kind of close out on the very end. Now they have ultimates yet again. They're playing the ult game pretty well, too. And for Swamp Gaming's side, the Cloak and Dagger is just been rough. Like you mentioned earlier, it's been an interesting mix-up. Redis goes aggressive, captures one with that.
Wow, great play by Redis. Wow, bro. Dove in, slapped him up with his ult, and hit him back into his backline. That was a great play.
This is exactly where you want him, again, for that setup from the group.
You like that, Boba?
Of Tones, who really is versatile on these vanguards in the front line. Trying to force out cooldowns in this door is so much value. But they're
Valentina has the face cam.
That's what they're
W.
looking for. Tackle comes out now. Not able to find much value. Does force out a cooldown, though, as the boundary gets committed. That time from Silent Blaze. Still has Logan's copy available. Valentina going to start now to walk them forward with the bond. And the pick comes out this time from Daze on Doritos, saying, no, I am the Wolverine. And has that last stand available. Might be using it here in a moment. Oh, nice push.
Yeah, nice push. Like you mentioned, the Invisible Woman coming in to get a value again. It's harder for that Cloak and Dagger for sure, who has to set up those blinds and stuff to get value out of the character, whereas the LUNEX, I mean, Silent Blaze has been playing phenomenal, but we'll see if they can keep it up. This last point can be very difficult to capture. Controlling the off angle is Tones. Ultimate build up very soon by him in this fight. Whereas with the mating, he's been a little bit quiet this map compared to the previous one. There's the last thing committed by Daze.
Oh, what an ult to save it. Oh my! Oh my god, bro. Ulted to save his team from the Wolverine and then hit him in the air. Bro, reverse 360 dunked nuts in the face and everything. Oh my god.
They've stabilized a little bit for Swamp Gaming side. Brutal's been blocked by the Invincible Shield, but they're all in it still regardless. Glartrox also came out to no avail. Excellent.
Oh no, they used Glartrox and got it like canceled too, chat. Uh-oh.
On Tone's ultimate.
Yeah, I'd love to just be staring at the damage numbers there from Silent Blaze after a huge ultimate from Tones, throwing every cooldown into that grouping, and they all just get deleted. And again, you know, Invis not only incredibly strong in terms of the healing front, but can just do raw healing numbers all up into the sky away from the crystals there. Is able to find Valentina.
Wow.
Huge again.
Wow.
You don't need to get
the kill on Okay, they did. I think they got the res, but Valentina had her. They're ult.
Cooldowns, the walls go out. Daze gonna fall from Tones. Tones gonna
oh my god!
From Tones, a penta now. Come on, as they push the whole way.
Okay, Tones.
Get it done. 58 seconds left to go.
Tones is by far okay, chat. I'm like a fan of Tones now on LUNEX, bro. That guy has been dominating on Groot, dominating on Hulk, bro.
It feels like in this front to back comp, we haven't seen much out of them. Even like when they're playing this sort of
this guy looks like me in the ranked game.
It's
just a pure Chad.
They don't seem to do well.
You know what I'm saying?
Like not on these dive characters alongside Scatter.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's difficult to go dive on defense here on these modes like Convoy and Convergence. So, you know, it's tough. But I think that they, you know, the side of LUNEX just really took advantage of Tones playing that Groot. They were just walking off the free space that he was generating. It seemed like the walls weren't a major priority. There was a lot of walls holding on there for LUNEX, although I'm sure Swamp just had a lot to deal with because they did have a lot of movement with Regis being up there on the Wolverine. But I'm not sure. I mean, I'm with you. I think now on attack, we could see a switch up from them going something that they're a little more comfortable with on the dive front. Not sure the Cloak and Dagger was getting as much value, like you were saying. I do think Groot, you know, Groot is a decent answer.
Go into it a little bit because
it looks like Jay on Spider-Man, but he's not that good. Hey,
seen too much play.
Spider-Man is my most played hero.
That's because neutral in the game, like you had mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, with the recent changes to ultimate charge, and that they're coming at 20%.
Oh, you guys are being mean to me, bro. I was gonna show you guys,
depending on which role you're playing,
that
you know, you want a strat line.
But you know what? You guys don't deserve that.
We're talking about Invis being so threatening.
You guys don't deserve that anymore.
Incredibly strong and have a great ultimate, and the blind is awesome. But in that neutral, when they're trying to attack, they have to fully commit to that damage mode, and truthfully, it's just not that much damage, and they just aren't providing enough KO pressure to keep on the team, and that's the downside of them right now. But we haven't seen a lot of them, as we see Forky find one onto Tones. Great tackle there.
Yeah, excellent tackle from Daze. We've seen him set that up.
Is it Ken?
Time and time again.
Naga?
From the Magneto.
9625 with 50 gifted subs on YouTube. Absolutely insane.
Sort of these aggressive plays.
Absolutely crazy. Appreciate it, my friend. YouTube's popping off today. Appreciate it.
Coming up this Friday.
Massive W for Kanaga on YouTube chat. Oh, and Twitch chat. W.
If he gets taken out, nice job.
Absolutely insane. I appreciate it. I'll even give you a W. Look at that.
Cloak and Dagger has enabled them off the rip ship.
Yeah, we're going to see more here as the trap goes down from Median on the left side. Great
massive. I appreciate it.
Again, that trap does go invisible after a few seconds. You have time to break it, but then it's just gone forever.
Hey, no, not Flark YouTube. Flark YouTube is amazing, man.
You can't see the vision on where they're actually located, but they still deal the damage. So great shot there.
Hey, our YouTube chat's been popping off lately, bro. We have over 2,000 people on YouTube as well, and whatever Twitch is.
Here, Tico trying to find one does onto
YouTube is a big family. I love YouTube.
Here for Swamp Gaming, who does does have ult advantage in this next
Yo,
fight.
Benzie!
Either the force physics that
With the 20 gifted subs on Twitch. Absolutely insane. I appreciate it. Massive.
So good on the Wolverine, considering he's really
appreciate it, Benzie. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Showing those chops so far. Copy comes out from Logan.
Chat, let's pay attention here, though.
Want to go aggressive with it in a second.
I want to see what happens with Swamp Gaming. There's no way Swamp Gaming loses this.
Magneto ult in the backside. Doesn't get invisibility. Logan has to block it off, but can't. Nice job.
There's no way. They got that kill.
Afterwards, Ayavagomoto doesn't connect onto anybody.
But they're losing the fight.
Tico there with the
they're losing the fight. Maddington as well with the 20 gifted subs. Absolutely insane. Massive W. Appreciate it.
You're going to force a lot of shield cooldowns out.
Bro.
Swamp
Swamp Gaming. There's no way they lose this.
Are no longer available.
And Gale. Appreciate the massive 2 months.
And that was some clean play there by Tico, but no ult available here. Actually, Redis now has ult. Silent plays close again on the invis. Is insane. As a fight and a half ago, did use that commitment. Forky going to start off here with the dance floor.
Chat is popping off. Both chats are popping off. Absolutely insane. Appreciate you guys.
Should be available, and the idea now is to use that as the answer.
Now we're about to see an upset. If Swamp Gaming loses his chat, this is going to be crazy.
Too much. As they retake, there's that strangling prison now, waiting towards the end of the ult. It does not.
They only got one person at ult. I think that's they didn't even get that kill. Wow, Tico was literally 1 HP. Oh no, Swamp Gaming, what are we doing, bro?
Follow up there afterwards, like you do have that crude ult in the backside. Oh my goodness, that's everybody. But again, the strategy.
Oh, no kills by Tones as well with another fat ult.
Like the follow up extra damage, but in that case, Days went too far forward. So both teams kind of going a little too aggressive. In this case, the offense.
I wonder
with ultimates as well.
Chat, this is just my hypothesis here, right? This is my. I wonder if Swamp Gaming, they obviously rolled North America in their bracket, right? So they were probably like, hey, why do we need to practice? We're so much better than all these other teams.
Be in their favor, but they
and now look what's happening, bro. One of the last place teams that barely made it into these playoffs are kind of doing really well against the team that was undefeated.
Be roughly even. A Madian though with the Glartrox. And here goes the commitment now. Us against the world, in with that eternal bond. Out goes Crystals for the back line, trying to hold on for just a moment. But a great flank giggle here and a huge purple.
Ooh, huge purple. Huge purple.
That could be enough for them to keep this going. Ayavagomoto gets committed, finds
nice
one.
fade.
Be enough? Actually 2, but nobody goes down. As Kraz is able to find that pick there onto Iffy, walking down the back line now, trying to take out more. And instead, they're just going to set up for the moment. I'm not sure portal's available. 5 seconds on before OT, but it looks like that will be enough for point 1.
Yeah, in that last fight, it seems like they got max value to the Cloak and Dagger, capping into second phase. But like you mentioned, that blind came out, able to capitalize off of Tones on the Groot, then came back to use the Cloak and Dagger fade to make sure that nobody got hit by that Phoenix ultimate. Nice job to find the stagger pick, by the way. And invisible boundary committed by LUNEX.
There's probably a good reason why they're not playing Melio, chat. They probably, he's probably sick. It could be a lot of reasons. Maybe he's sick. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is their game plan.
I don't fully see why, whereas Tones goes over to that Venom now, and LUNEX just keep committing ultimates, but can they find the KOs? Swamp Gaming, they don't save Scatter at the very least.
Yeah, we can see another restart here. Again, the time just not going to be the same. And this is a very defensible position now when they're holding early on. Everything kind of working in favor for LUNEX except for the ults. Swamp has a ton available now. The Glartrox goes out. Does find the front line as Amadian's able to take out Logan. There's some value there. We talked about Amadian maybe not showing up so much in the KO feed comparatively. But now starting to step up when it matters. Forky finds one again onto Tones. And the reset begins. Really well played by Swamp. Notice the commitment. Still holding on to 3 ultimates.
Yeah, excellent work there to peel off the side of LUNEX, who went aggressive again with Redis' ultimate. He didn't find value at all. I want to kind of watch that back and see what happened to Redis, but Amadian finally coming online a little bit, able to set up. Root ultimate committed cross map again.
Wait, that was a big ult, actually. That was a big ult.
Aggressive with their ultimate from last stand on Days connects flush. Huge shot.
Oh, no.
Regardless, Cart's almost fully capped out, so they have to play around the objective. Invisible boundary built up very soon, but you have to deal with this Magneto ultimate. Everybody coming into that invisible boundary is going to be a target for Scatter Genki, but it looks like he doesn't have to use it at the moment. They're just able to peel off this Wolverine, who his hit.
Wait, go kill him, go kill him, go kill him.
Down low, has to play around the corner though. Excellent job.
Nice. I was about to say, they're not going to kill him?
He comes in from the defensive angle. That's the last shuttle they have. Tico has to maybe find something with his Phoenix ultimate, but cannot after he comes back out of it. Oh, Scatter does go down to Tones, and actually, that gives them a bit of an edge. They get to walk forward now towards Kraz. No Shroud ults to deal with it. Glartrox sitting up
no, Swamp Gaming, they can't die here. They can't die here. If you die here, that's going to be really bad. You cannot die here, chat. You cannot die here.
Yeah, and Swamp Game is doing this thing where they're initiating heavy with that Eternal Bond consistently, and it's definitely a strategy we haven't seen as much in this new patch, but...
Silent Blaze, I can't believe he's playing like Invis Woman on a controller, bro. You must have really good aim. Is Invis on controller hard? I feel like playing like a hit scan character or something like that is hard. They're doing really well right now.
The pick onto Iffy as Scatter finds one. Swamp Gaming going to be up numbers and in alt advantages. Forky now goes in with another bond, and this is going to put LUNEX in a very tough spot as Redis goes down 2.
I mean, Logan's obviously in a very strong position, but without ultimates, they lose tones. They lose more after that, and having to deal with the Wolverine on the cart is going to always be difficult without ultimates. They do have Visible Andrew at the very least, but you can get KOs through this if you have good enough target focus with the Groot ultimate. They do.
Oh.
Captain America can't save anybody inside that ult except Tico, but eventually goes down. Captain America, just the last one left to stall it out, but fully online is...
Yo, this guy's playing Fortnite. He's just chilling on his wall.
Moving to the third point, and LUNEX yet again in overtime at the very end.
I don't think Swamp Gaming is capping this, though.
It's not Swamp Gaming anymore, it's Clutch Gaming. These guys are making no mistakes when they really can't.
I actually don't think they're capping this. I think this is going to be LUNEX's map win.
Although they're struggling a little bit here in these early plays, and it seems like, honestly, LUNEX is also just kind of locking in, but there is the switch once more in a clutch situation, reminding us exactly of what happened in Domination, being down early on 100% on map 2 after losing the first map and then just clutching up and winning it. Can they do it again here and push us to OT? Time on the clock is only 58 seconds. LUNEX with a slight ult advantage. Who comes out on top here in this next fight?
Days last stand actually committed with the passive, and the Madian's there with the follow-up, and they waited on Logan's ultimate. They wanted to play slow. Days makes a play. We've seen this time and time again. Days...
Uh-oh, that's actually really good. They got... Oh!
Now you have the Glortrox double aggressive play, double dash in.
That's actually huge, chat. They went in, they got a kill, they backed out. LUNEX used 2 ults, a defensive ult, their Loki and the Phoenix. They ran back, made them waste their ults, and then now they're going back in and just... Oh! The one satisfying thing that I love to see from this, like these pro games, is that teams actually like kite back after they use ults. A lot of teams, if you see an ult, they're like, in ranked games, they're running forward and dying, and you're like, why?
What happens here on the
They were bad ults. Why run in them and die?
Goes down again. That removes Iffy out of the fight. Last stand on the backside, built it up again. For the
oh, good flank!
Now, who finds the KO?
Wow. Oh!
Gets 2 in that fight.
Good flank!
Tones has to back up that Groot. Unfortunately, couldn't find much, and that Snow Dance Floor, Luna Snow Dance Floor, helps secure the point. Can even make out of the spawns now with the overtime timer ticking down.
I mean, come on now, Swamp. Just so clutch in these moments. Pushing it all the way. A lot of commitment, though. Out goes the dance floor. Invisible Boundary gets committed. Meteor M goes up. Crash.
Wow, I actually did not think they were going to cap this. There's no way.
Numbers are dwindling. A Madian again on to Tico. Trying to push this to OT. Last stand. Bang. Goodbye to Tones. And that should do it.
Wow, I did not think Swamp Gaming was going to cap this, bro. I thought Swamp Gaming...
So make sure to tune in if you have any friends in the middle of a ranked game.
Bro!
To tune into either our esports tab where everything's live, or here on Marvel Rivals Twitch, or the
this should not be.
I mean, excellent push.
This should not be that close.
What's, like, the main takeaway? How did Swamp make that work? Like, they capped it out overtime. He talked about him being now.
This should not be close, chat.
Honestly, I don't even know, because they're running a similar comp here. It's like not much has changed. It's just like they remember who they are after they struggle. It's like they get down to the point like, hey, we might lose this.
I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. You know why Swamp Gaming's not rolling?
Crazy and play out of their minds. Median.
You know,
I apologize.
You know why Swamp Gaming's not rolling, chat? Hear me out. Think about it. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think the reason that Swamp Gaming is not winning is because one of their DPS players are not playing Squirrel Girl. Swamp Gaming, what's their initials? SG. Squirrel Girl. They're not playing Squirrel Girl. If they were playing Squirrel Girl, bro, they would be winning.
That's going to be toned out a bit. An extra 2 seconds every single dash. It could change the ban phase.
Even Emily said I was right.
I'll tell you what, not right
which is very rare for her to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Madian's looking good. Tico had their moments, but also, I mean, a lot of the plays are set up by these strats. It looks like the strategist players alongside the Wolverines. So Redis kind of maybe played a little bit too fast pace in that time. Daze slowed it down a little bit, allowed his strategist to get in better position. Logan as well kind of watched the team eviscerate before his eyes in a lot of these situations. Both teams having to slow it down a little bit in this front to back style. We'll see how they opt to play it. In the meantime, it seems like a lot of teams kind of give up this first corner, opting for a bit of a safer engage, but we, again, don't have a lot of time in the bank.
Yeah, we're going to start up again, folks. This is typically when we will see some more unique stuff come out for the hold with the portal coming in, but no, still not going to elect to do that. Just not finding it as valuable, especially, I guess, into, very strong Wolverine players. Is They start once more. There is an early tackle. Bubble gets committed. Great idea there and great patience on cooldown from Iffy to make sure that there's not too much value in that early tackle. Kraz in a dangerous spot. 20% HP in a dream, still holding on though, as everything's getting committed. But
wow, they actually didn't get that kill on that tank. That was 1 HP. That's wild.
Terrified of that Wolverine who passive gets popped right there from the side of Daze, and that's going to be a call out that LUNEX is very happy about.
Man. Yeah, I mean, the strategist keeping everybody alive. Barely copy available, eventually lose it. We'll talk about it after the fact, but that cloak and dagger ult a little bit too late from Valentina. If he finds one on the day, Scatter able to trade back Tones at the very least, who did pop that Groot ultimate, so that thing removed is huge. Phoenix ultimate comes through, cloak and dagger again. Matt, so both strat ults committed by the offensive side. LUNEX's ults aren't actually as good despite the position they were in. Forky gets a nice little blind on the backside, finds Tico. So again, LUNEX are collapsing, comes back through his own portal. Well placed by the side of the offense. Groot ultimate,
He's alive!
No KO
oh my god, he used his own Magneto to live that. Oh my god, I thought that guy was a goner. They Wolverine and Maggle did him.
But it doesn't look like it finds anything for now. Green's committed, but Tones, does he get peeled for? Does he get the pocket on the defensive angle? Swamp Gaming still have control. They still have that last stand. Daze could go big. Saliana's down 2 in the back.
Oh no, oh no, bro. Oh no.
And that removes huge value for the side of LUNEX.
Bro, LUNEX is the underdog here, and I want to cheer for them, and they're doing a great job, especially on last map. They do such a great start, but then they always finish so sloppy, bro.
But keep your eyes.
I'd rather start sloppy and finish strong, bro. Why do the opposite?
Only answers right now. So either way, there's not too much pressure, and Forky Dog might be able to get that ultimate back at the same time. Same with Valentina. So this is going to be another sustained long fight. Who's going to be able to find picks through the chaos? We'll see in just a moment here as OT ticks down. And the second point gets moving here. There is that Eye of Agamotto, lands on the back line, but the bubbles get committed. Tackle comes through from Redis, who finds one on the
huge play. This might be it, chat. This might be it. Forky Dog needs to get his ult.
Redis ready for it. Nice job with the bubbles. Cloak and dagger ult again. This could be an extended fight. At least they don't have portals, so they're going to have to go to a lot of mobile compositions to sort of peel this off, playing it slow. Only invisible boundary available.
Nice invisible ult.
Meteor M could still
no one died?
Doesn't
that was a good invisible ult to save your team, but like the fact that they were able to...
Here's a last stand from Redis. It has to go big. He finds 1-2, but they've already lost their tank line as well. Kraz is back onto the
Bro, how did you...
Yet again, Shiv.
Elsa's broken.
These strategists are carrying them at the current moment with their locations and timings of ultimates.
This is insane. I mean, you know what's better than finding a two-piece?
Yeah, Swamp Gaming has plot armor, I guess, man. That's crazy. I feel like LUNEX has been dominating.
Moment. We might see a portal play coming in. We do.
Carl, appreciate the massive tier 3 for 9 months, and also Super Toast. Appreciate the massive prime sub. Absolutely insane. Appreciate it. Welcome.
Was needed or used as Tico.
There you go. Look. They got 2 kills again. They started off this fight with 2 kills again.
LUNEX needs this right now. They need to stop this momentum. They only have 2 minutes, and Swamp is just looking different as Forky's able to find one on
no way.
Making that switch and looking incredibly strong on that Luna, who's also getting a buff tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Daze also with another last
no way.
Yeah, you lose Tico.
Bro.
I mean, the damage output has been crazy. Forky to switch over to the Luna after first point has been beautiful. We're in the last phase. They had 60 seconds on the clock.
Carl's, though, absolutely insane. Appreciate it. This is just wild.
Too slow or something right now, man. They look disgruntled.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's just Swamp constantly being clutch or if LUNEX, when they get in these win condition positions, just kind of crumble. It's a tough thing to see because this is the multitude of times we've seen it now where they've had an advantage and they just can't quite do it.
No, chat, I did not jinx everything. You know what this feels like?
Swamp are up a number.
It feels like Swamp Gaming is like an adult, and LUNEX is like their son. Swamp Gaming was like, here, have a lick of a lollipop, and the kid's like, oh my god, I love lollipops. And then after one lick, Swamp Gaming takes it away and says, wow, nice, you had a taste of it, but you're not going to get the win. You're not going to have the lollipop. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that would be absurd. It very well looks possible at the current moment. I mean, maybe going into the series, you would think something like this would happen, but also it's been a close series throughout until now.
LUNEX is basically getting a taste of victory, and they're having it taken away from them.
Putting so much pressure now once they switch sides. Reedus with the kidnap on a Kraz at the very least.
They did so well, and now they're folding.
Venom, it's all that effective HP with that bonus HP. But they still has his passive as well, so they're kind of sitting pretty at the moment. Copy committed by Logan. But again, Tico goes down early. Oh my goodness, how are we going down with these ultimates up in the middle of these fights? Meteor M committed by Scatter Genki. Towards the spawn. Yeets into Silent Blaze with a follow-up from Kraz. Excellent work from the Vanguards of Swamp Gaming in the middle of their dance floor. Is Swamp Gaming. Meteor M plus the Groot ultimate. Shield not there in time to save. Forky Dog, or rather committed too early, but it doesn't matter because everybody else is following up. Gaming or Clunch Gaming, as you said, Chip, because with 60 seconds on their attack,
they had 60 seconds, and they
insane, dude.
LUNEX is choking, chat. They're choking.
They're like a literal Wolverine. They're just terrifying to go up against. The honey badger,
someone call the police, bro, because I'm witnessing a murder right now, man. Hey, this.
Oh my! What am I? Wow.
And you know what's even worse, chat? You know what's even worse? They did really well, and their confidence was probably feeling really good. But have you guys ever played a game where you guys thought you were winning and then you have to play defense again because the other team barely capped third point? Now you have to now you have to defense again, and then they rolled you. It's very demoralizing, bro. It's a hit in your confidence.
But even then, like, this has been one of the best performances we've seen because, I mean, Chip, they had full advantages, right? Like that Invisible Woman mismatch.
But you know what? I'm going to say it. LUNEX, I'm sorry. I was feeling really sad, but you guys did this to yourself. LUNEX did not ban Elsa. They banned Gambit.
Keeping their Vanguards alive and then Kraz setting up with those Groot ults. Everybody.
That is their fault.
Dude. Like, it feels like it feels so tough. Like, what can you say about that? I mean, winning fights 5 versus 6.
I mean, it's just a comms difference. We talk about how important comms are and momentum. Obviously, momentum is super important. Without a doubt, Swamp has momentum right now going into this. But, you know, it's really just cutting through the noise. Them seeing ultimates, having the idea of when to kite. And for those who don't know what the term is, it's essentially you drop back, you deal damage, you kind of go out and back in to deal damage like a kite, right? So it's that simple. Kite through those ultimates.
How you doing, TTK's dad? I hope you're excited.
Your alt charge gaining.
I hope you're excited for next game.
Slow. They used that perfectly, came back, and always found success with their answer ultimates. Wow, Kraz is very low, as Tones almost makes something happen there, but lands right on the crystals to stay healthy as the next fight starts off, and LUNEX needs to make something big happen here.
Yeah, both teams, their defense a little bit, reactive in terms of their play style. I think on offense, they've shined a lot better, but obviously once you go down in that situation, it's going to be tough to come back because Daze again removes Reedus.
Damn, nice heals. Nice heals by Swamp Gaming. I would have been scared. I wouldn't have trusted my supports to keep me up right there.
Once more. So first fight for Swamp Gaming as they regroup on the offensive side. Slow down this fight again.
And here goes the next fight. Again, LUNEX already back at the door is not a good start because right now they're already down a minute, and that is all that Swamp really had here. Is Reedus able to find Daze to find that answer now for LUNEX, but still only even at the moment. And there's a chance here that if Daze elects to, could portal in. I'm not sure they even think they need it right now. Likely a conversation that they are having because a lot of teams elect a portal here on this ramp to ensure another fight, a third fight comes through at the door. Iffy holding the space right now. Walls up for Daze, breaking him down. Dropping back as a unit once more. Forky Dog very close to that ultimate. Invisible Boundary gets committed first from Silent, and that's already a win here for Swamp, who, like we're talking about, are going to kite backwards.
And like they're using the greens a little bit early, but can't save Kraz in that fight. Doesn't matter. They found Tones because of the kidnap on the opposite side from Daze, so we're back to being even. Glartrox again goes big. You have the Meteor M to help peel it off, but it doesn't matter because they're all brought back.
No one died? Oh, they used Invis Woman for that.
End, so maybe it did actually end up mattering as Daze went down with the dance floor up. So Swamp Gaming down both Stratus ultimates, and same thing with LUNEX, but they finally have that edge they were looking for to peel off a Madian's ultimate has been big.
Yeah, and there's that portal now.
If he eats the group,
that's into the teleporter as Daze is able to find Reedus, and what a tackle there.
They have to wait. They use Groodle. What did they hit with Groodle?
This could be a
LeBron
get committed. Bang! It's able to find one onto Iffy. Goodbye, and a huge last stand comes.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my! He's doing touch the spawn door challenge in the middle of a pro game. You can't do that. That's disrespectful.
For LUNEX now, they're in that hole that we were talking about. It's not over. It's not the group stages, which was that sort of first to 2 angle.
Okay, I really want to learn. I really want to learn Wolverine after this game, chat. This is Wolverine seems like a very fun character to play. Any Wolverine players in chat? He seems really fun and broken.
Had that game, right, Shib? Like,
oh yeah,
their target focus was just awful or something, man. Because the healing, yes, we could point out.
I think everyone in chat and me included should go on a Wolverine gameplay run so we could punish the tank players and make all 3 tank players in Marvel Rivals never want to play tank again.
It's really like it's just like the backs against the wall diff. Like if you look at the numbers, they look
51 and 8 on. Oh, here, let me go up here so you guys can see.
Tone's looking good there.
Oh, holy shit. Wait, before I go over here, 90,000 healing, 80,000 healing, 90,000 healing, 75,000 healing, but 51 kills, 8 deaths, 24 final hits, 60,000 damage. Hey, you know what? We're still not going to ban Elsa, chat. Haha, LOL, XD. Can we still ban Gambit? Haha. 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 Let's ban Gambit. Haha. Let's not ban Elsa. Haha.
Those sort of target focus situations, because like you mentioned, Swamp Gaming there was, and maybe I'm like, you know,
120,000 damage taken.
Like that, it kind of boils down to target focus to find those picks, but regardless,
holy,
now on map point can lose.
That's crazy, bro. Tones is an insane tank player. 18 final hits as well. 48,000 damage as tank. That's crazy. That is crazy. Did I say that was crazy yet, chat? Hey, Noodle. That was a great play by Maiden. Oh, both Redis too. Redis is doing really well. I love the DPS like battle that they're doing. The tank, bro. This is a really great game, and I just want to say this is the first NA game. This is the first NA game, bro. I think, no disrespect to my fellow EU viewers, but I think NA is a lot more fun to watch. What'd she say? Is she actually? You better not. I will pick that cat up and give her a big kiss. You better not be throwing up on my clothes. No, she didn't. She did not throw up on my clothes. No, a cat threw up on my clothes? No, she didn't. No. Chat, we did the laundry, and I was gonna fold the laundry after stream, and the cat just threw up all over my clothes, bro. No, bro, it's disgusting. I wish I was joking. Wait, do you have a picture? Do you have a picture that I can show chat? Oh, I'm not gonna show chat. Nah, I'm not. Okay, I was gonna show you guys a picture. I'm sorry, my bad.
Really did.
She threw up all over my goddamn clothes, man.
Offense, right? And then their defense was good.
You know what?
It really was just Swamp Gaming.
It's like animals. When animals pee, they're trying to show that that's their area. That's their dominance. You know what? I'm throwing up on that cat after the stream. I'm gonna throw up on her bed too.
I've ever been.
Yeah, I mean, it's the combination of both. I think you pointed it out perfectly. Yeah, they figured it out on top of.
It was sushi, not noodle, Chad. It was
like,
sushi.
you can just see in the damage blocked. I think the group player Tones he took like 120,000 damage. Yeah. really, I mean, that comes down to, like you mentioned, clutching up in the right moments, but also Days setting up a ton of plays and everybody having confidence in him.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think another thing to note, which we touched on, which I think is very much in the favor of Swamp's attack, was the double cloak and dagger. It maybe has taken a seat in the wayside, but they were launching those ultimates as soon as they got them, and they were just applying pressure instantly, and it worked every time. They would immediately Loki copy after, keep the aggression going forward. It's a little bit longer of an ultimate right now in the current meta, which again is going to change
appreciate
tomorrow.
The massive
And
new
so
tier
they would
1
always
sub.
give them a few extra seconds. And if they could, the idea was you launch in with the Eternal Bond, you walk in as a unit, you force out the dance floor.
This is a best of 5 chat. Yes, best of 5. Best of 5. Not best of,
and even then, you still have one additional second on your ultimate, and then you commit again with another Eternal Bond. They always just had that pressure, and it really did work out.
Do you feel like that cloak and dagger pick, which is something we don't really see much from other teams, at least not here in the preseason thus far, is this just a kind of pocket strat that works here and there that they can throw in, or do you expect
listen,
them
you can
to,
look at throw up and still eat chat. There's nothing, bro,
is that even possible in the future when patch changes are coming through?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because I think next patch.
Good luck on predictions, y'all. I got a meeting to head to. Hey, make sure you tell everyone in the meeting to sub to Jay3. Appreciate it.
Still gonna be pretty strong at 11 seconds.
We got to grow the community, chat.
Yeah, I mean, that might cut it away, but right now it's definitely unique. Again, I think the thing about this cloak and dagger pick is it doesn't have as much KO potential when you're not using your ult, because you want to try to stay in dagger form as much as possible to keep the healing up on your team. And you can't, if you swap over, you have to fully commit the damage, where a lot of strategists don't have to do that. But when you have two of them popping off at the same time, and you're constantly applying pressure with a Wolverine who can tackle everyone away from other ultimates.
Oh, you know what? I want to go pee
and
before this next game.
Showed up right there. So what a W. So it looked like we're heading over to Central Park next.
All right, Central Park, the map choice for LUNEX. Again, loser, of course, getting the opportunity to pick him back. How do you feel about this one, Dogman, for LUNEX?
I think this is again a good map for them. It's always tough because, I mean, the previous map was close. Like you felt like it was their chance, and this LUNEX team is very good. I mean, if they were to reverse sweep, that'd be literally crazy. But I mean, at the moment, I imagine a lot of people's stocks of like Swamp Gaming are going down and stuff after this, after the close game with LUNEX and Swamp. And for LUNEX, it's obviously going up. But that last map, I mean, Zoe, that really felt like their shot, their chance to win. And same thing with Domination. They just keep losing it at the very last moment. And that could be, nerves, especially being this unsigned roster in LUNEX coming out of MRC and being a young team and a young roster. Maybe it's not their time, or they could harden up in this next map. But I think a lot of that does come down to experience that obviously the other squad in Swamp Gaming has in droves.
Oh, no, 100% agree with that. It goes back to what Mello said was that 2 weeks ago in an interview, right? In the post-match interview, he said that them winning those insane, unwinnable fights, that just is discipline, and that discipline is learned. That's practice. That's because they've played with each other for quite a while now as the core, and they just kind of had to like grind it out and learn it. Like they understand now their win conditions and they're able to bite their times. Whereas newer players, they have trigger fingers. That's just what it is. Like it's something you just have to learn.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it is just a nerves thing. Again, like to reiterate for those who maybe don't remember, it's an MRC team. It's a team that, they've played together and they've looked great in the MRC, but they're coming into the big stage, and it's their first time up here against some of the best teams in the entire world even, and it's tough. It's tough to step up, and I really do think it's like a confidence issue. They're just not able to kind of finish out the W that they have in their hands.
They'll be a scary opponent in the lower bracket, though, if they are to fall after this third map. Let's see if they can bring it back, or if Swamp Gaming is going to run away.
Oh my god.
Well, thank you, Zoe. Dude, I mean, honestly, shit, like the last map, you talked about him, Amadian was popping off too. They get that Elsa ban off the rip yet again to stop LUNEX from maybe matching it. And for Tico, like, I mean, what do you think in that department, playing the Phoenix in the last map as they get the Invis, same ban phase that they've had previously?
Yeah, they really don't want the Gambit on the table, and I get it. Swamps looked really good with the Gambit comp, so it's we're gonna see things that are gonna be consistent just due to them having scrims in the back end and things that they struggle with. That's clearly something they struggle with, which if they're able to adapt and adjust to that in the future and try to find some answers for that, maybe it'll open things up for them.
D-Bert, appreciate it, getting some, my friend. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Every single time, not able to get that Elsa for themselves, and that Invis has obviously been very much a priority for them.
Yeah, it was working at points, but we'll kind of see as it moves forward. And, that kind of brings everything back to Days. It seems like whenever this guy's in the lineup, doesn't matter.
Wow, they're actually, you guys keep saying bring Mello in, bring Mello in. He's actually not playing.
The right time.
It's crazy.
Kind of like, what, like, your take on it, maybe, Shib, with like Terra back in the 100 Thieves. Like, I think this game you can't really make hero plays, but if you have a player that has a good read on like aggression and stuff, like Daze, it just ends to work out. But here's a mix up, Shib. We get to see the Daredevil finally.
Yeah, that is true. That's gonna shake things up a little bit here. But yeah, it's like
we're gonna see Daze's Daredevil chat.
Great call on Terra there, and similar call to what you're seeing with Daze. Who, we also saw that same exact story with Doctor Strange in the past on Idrasil. So really just has it in the gene. The idea on some of these heroes is, it's tricky to play aggro in a setting like this where the players make very little mistakes because you're afraid that you're going to look, like a doofus, like trying to make something happen, and it just doesn't work out for you.
Did you say looking like a doofus?
To pull it off, and you do pull it off, I think it just snowballs you as a player, and you just get better and better because you know you can do it.
Good points. And Daredevil eventually going to get locked for both squads. We have the Vanguard Deadpool ban at the very end. So a little bit focus on that. I think in EU we would have seen, or EMEA, we would have seen maybe some Loki prioritization as well with how strong Loki's been throughout, but the Daredevil getting through.
I think I personally feel Elsa is the number one ban.
The Elsa, we've seen how good Daredevil and Elsa could be, Shib. That duelist lineup, probably a lot of people's S tier in terms of the duelist department, right?
Yeah, and it does enable things like a more aggressive White Fox, too. I think we saw some of that from Team Liquid Citadel. They played aggro with things like Cap, even when they could, but they haven't necessarily played a ton of it with the Daredevil. And you just kind of off-angle, you set up, and you dive together, and it's really strong here on offense when you're trying to find a way through here into this Coliseum as we're at Central Park. And this is gonna be a fun one, buddy. I like to see the defense here. I think there's a lot of times teams have held on point one. I think there's a lot of unique strategies. Sometimes you see group play, not gonna be seeing it here. This is gonna be more traditional across the board. We're seeing a lot more Magneto today too, man. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I imagine it's just to help like sort of these divers go for plays and stuff. Also, the Magneto buff was crazy. The fact that his meteor flies at Mach speed.
Yeah.
And, obviously all these mag players are so patient, so smart. Alongside of like melee characters in the game too. I imagine that impacts,
I don't know, man.
How
I just don't understand why we don't ban
compared to previous patches, so you can be a lot more patient.
We don't do the correct bans.
It's not obviously, it doesn't explode as fast as it would otherwise. So Daredevil on the defensive side for Swamp Gaming. LUNEX sticking back on Redis, Wolverine.
Scatter going to be setting up now, and there is going to be that switch from Tones over to the Groot, who I do think plays very strong at this map defensively and offensively. We're going to, the idea again for Scatter on Swamp here is if you can match that ultimate, if you can eat it, not only do you have a free Meteor M opportunity, but you get value for canceling it all, but really not having to do much besides kind of hover your finger over the Q button. Great attack style here from LUNEX too. I like this off-angle play, resetting in the backside together and ready to commit, forcing the team to completely switch. It's essentially like they're going to be defending now.
Shit, I got to move my camera. Fuck, chat, you guys didn't say anything.
They don't practice as much, and that's what you need to do against a team so
too many camera placements, man. I'm sorry.
You need to kind of shake up their thought processes and try to exploit something here as Logan and Silent are taken to the moon.
Yeah, they want to set up Logan on the height, on the backside, force the green early.
Yo, Shannon! Appreciate the massive gift and sub. Absolutely insane. Appreciate it.
Keep running away from that Daredevil who's ready to dive on them. The pocket coming from Silent, and Redis needs to find a kidnap, but cannot find it, unfortunately. So, with that cooldown removed, that's so much playmaking potential gone. Invisible Boundary committed, though, because of the damage output coming through. Swamp Gaming try to disengage it in the meanwhile, and they do so, but they give up 2 ticks while doing so. The Daredevil have to come in and touch. On the backside does have that Snowflake. It's brought back, and nice job. The target focus stays, removes that Daredevil out of the sky, even though Swamp Gaming can come back in with that Meteor M, still don't have Cradle Jet. Forky Dog building up so slowly. Large Rock's also here from 80, and actually connects on the 2. But do they get the KOs? Yes, Logan goes down on that copy.
Oh, bro.
Never mind.
My next character that I'm learning is Wolverine.
They found Valentina, but didn't. Root ultimate here on the backside.
And I think, bro,
longer, gets the teleport out there at very least, but
I think White Fox is a great character, but her ult is useless. I feel like her ult is just useless.
And LUNEX peel off Kraz, head to second phase of the map.
Beautifully called there, my friend. LUNEX, though, off the back of losing numbers maybe a little bit early on, just clutching up and making some big plays, and that's what you need to see from them. The question is, can they keep that going? And that's where their I guess their flaw has been is when they see the lights, when they can see the end of the tunnel, the car stalls out a little bit, and that just cannot be the case right now. They're back against the wall 2-0 right now for Swamp at game, set, point, match here. We'll see what happens in this next fight. The setup starts here for Daze, who's going to immediately head towards that back line. Not even able to pop crystals. Not even sure if they were available.
That was disgusting.
Got some shout out early on for
being
one of the best in the game for Daredevil. And that was a shout out from Melaphobia. Up goes the Meteor M with the, off the back.
Uh-oh, is it LeBron?
Goodness, goodbye. But that's a combo you haven't quite seen a lot, huh?
No, I mean, that was beautiful work in that combination, like you mentioned. The Daredevil
Days
has been
popped
led
his
on the
orange.
backside, but eventually he's going to go down to Tico. You know, and for the side of Swamp Gaming, I'm interested to see, you know, what goes on, because this Captain America switch up for them hasn't been as good, you know, for them to play on that, you know, previous group composition on their offense was a little bit better. And honestly, LUNEX on their attack looked even better than they did on Idrasil Path. But for Days, you know, maybe they could set up a dive. Maybe they have follow-up with Kraz again. Maybe I'd like to see him on the Venom or something later on, but they still don't have Straddle. So they can maybe find Logan early, but he this time is aware of the amount of damage Lartrox used early. Didn't find any value. They walk in now with Logan's copy, and they can play as aggressive as they want.
You see some Punisher in tournaments, but it depends on what the comp is. Virtus Pro used to actually run Punisher with a single DPS. It depends on the bans as well.
They don't have any ultimates to help peel off this defense, but LUNEX, again, they need to find the KOs before Straddle ults are built, before Meteor M is built, and they're just not. Scatter built up that Meteor M on the backside. He goes in aggressive. They don't have greens for it either. They needed to go for a swap last second, trying to block it. Nice job to avoid it, but the copy comes out from Valentina.
That would have been a
now
sick
they can
block,
play aggressive. They can find the KOs afterwards, and they do. LUNEX, again, they get pushed away at the very end of first point.
Yeah, Days able to find a few here as Kraz gets another Forky, taking out Logan, and that should be the rest. As
oh my god.
Again, 2 minutes and 18
Seeing Luna get a few kills is always funny because they saw Luna and they were like, hey, you know what? Let's buffer damage it a little bit.
Once more.
Oh, I don't know if you guys saw the damage, but that's crazy.
But instead, the Strangling Prison and the Invisible Boundary available. The dance floor from Forky to have an answer and a Madian's Glartrox, which can be a massive threat with the off-map potential right behind where he's located right now.
Yeah, and last time a Median wasn't able to hit, it's been a longer of like a range. Green's already used. I mean, not a pressure provided now by Kraz on this defense. Looks a little bit better with Days. Also, they're able to set up on the defense. Lartrox goes out, gets onto that Magneto. I don't think Median even expected that because he shielded it off, so it didn't bring it back to be able to get that KO. Days still set up on the back line, though. Lartrox was maybe more to force out more, but they again don't have Stratus cooldown. Silent Blaze's ultimate too late to save Logan. In Days on this,
yeah, they buffed Luna. They instead of like doing 22 or 22 something, I think it's 22 damage and healing per shot. It's 24 now.
But they do have a lot of answers, a lot of ultimates here. As Redis, Iffy, Tico, and Logan will all be able to press the Q button, whereas Days will be close. Nice shots there by Valentina, able to find Logan in the neutral, and that's just going to give Swamp more time. And this is these small wins that we're seeing from Swamp when they are in a dangerous spot. This changes everything. These few seconds, you may think, oh, whatever, they lost somebody, they're just going to drop back. No. But now look at the ult charge. Kraz is there. Amadian's almost there. Valentina, Forky, Scatter, and Days all now should have ultimate in these next fights. And that is exactly what they're trying to do with those initial neutral picks.
They use the Invisible Boundary, try to peel off the Daredevil, who's met by Forky Dog and his ultimate. Phoenix ultimate from Tico and Meteor M committed. But if they don't find a KO here, I mean, these ultimates basically wasted. Like, you would want Tico's
Grim,
ultimate
Preacher
maybe
has
for
3
Captain
months.
America.
And Deber of the Massive, get this up again. Thank you.
But after this, I mean, they could stall forever, right? Like, Swamp Gaming used Forky Dog's ultimate. Now they go in aggressive. Silent Blaze close that Invisible Boundary. And without Days, at least they don't have, like, maybe the damage output. They green early, but the Glartrox, oh my goodness, that's both Vanguards, I believe. But the Invisible Boundary's there afterwards.
Great plays by the... I will say, we don't say this a lot. Great plays by LUNEX supports, though. Every time they get Glartrox, that they throw an Invis ult right there where they're going to save them.
Backside, Logan goes down Silent Blaze afterwards, and that's both removed. Redis' ultimate is negated, doesn't get any value because of the Captain America, and with overtime taking down a Median, takes down Redis. Nobody else here on the side of LUNEX, and beautifully played after the first point snowball. As they get it done, LUNEX gets stopped at 111 meters.
Folks, if your friends say DD's buried in the ground on all these nerfs, go ahead and just show them a couple clips there of these engages from Days. It's instant. It's instant. It's insane combinations. The flow looks clean. The backline gets deleted. And that is all she wrote. Just so disgusting from the side of Swamp Gaming once again, who just lock in on that defense on point 2. It is a pretty
I think LUNEX did it to themselves, though.
Close there, especially considered the attack. And now the goal is here for LUNEX to buy time on point
chat,
1.
This is a best of 5. I'm just gonna spit some knowledge real quick for you guys. It's a best of 5. You're on map 3. If the first 2 games you banned Gambit first and you lost, and the Elsa popped off,
Like, I feel
what
like
do you
there's
guys
usually
think you're
too
going to
many
do the
old
third
concerted
game?
fights where Swamp Gaming are being
Would you
smart.
guys,
Like,
A,
sometimes we would
try
see even
something
after
new
one
and
where they
ban
were winning,
Elsa that's
Lunix
been
would, like,
dominating
layer
your
Regis and
games?
Tico's
Or would you
ultimate,
rather
whereas
go
Swamp Gaming are,
B,
like, being
ban
patient.
Gambit
You know,
again
Days
for no
ult,
apparent
then maybe
reason
use
because you
ult,
want to
then
lose
we
the
use
game?
Captain Miracle to delay, Meteor M to help peel. We saw in the last fight, you can combine
Like,
Meteor
it doesn't
M
make
into
any
Pico
sense.
for sure,
Try
find those
something
KOs,
new.
but
Your ban phase is
without
not
Swamp Gaming,
working.
you're playing
Ban
so evasive, it just feels like they can
Elsa.
maybe lose one and still be okay, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, especially with how they've been playing. But we're going to see what this looks like here shortly as we can see the change in comp. I mean, the Venom coming out. This is the kind of stuff I thought I'd see more of today that we haven't at all, you know?
No, that's a good point. Like, I feel like in EMEA, we're seeing even, like, Venom bans.
Oh
like,
my god.
yeah.
Oh my god, I need to make that a shirt. Ban Elsa,
I mean,
and
the
I
top
just wear it
teams,
every
I mean,
time I
which
do
is
a
funny 'cause
like
top teams have been electing to
watch
do it.
party.
Obviously,
Oh my god,
Kraz
you guys are
on the cap, but
geniuses.
top teams have been running Venom or Cap consistently.
Wait,
Just
they
because
the map.
You guys are geniuses.
Oh my goodness. That's
Pull up a
unlucky
replay
trying to
viewer.
find the flank. Yeah, right?
See what happened. What happened to my Daredevil? Fell off the map. Reported.
Throwing reported. Yeah, exactly. So you get a ban in the middle of this. But yeah, no.
Wait, I was looking at you guys while arguing about ban Elsa. Did someone fall off the map?
That'll change here coming up, tomorrow as things change up. But either way, it's so strong. Trying to happen again here. A little bit of the wall run from Days. This is a preview of what we wanted to see last time. Yeah, as the pick comes through there from Silent Blaze.
They lose a Madian while setting it up, but now he's lodged into the backside of the cranium of LUNEX at the the least.
Yo, Ian, appreciate the massive donut, my friend. How you doing?
For the dive, immediately comes back.
Yo, Jay3, I have my driver's license tomorrow. Wish me luck. Chat, stay off the streets.
Maybe Kraz, nice bubble to keep
This is a public service announcement. Chat, get off the streets.
Nice job with the counter dive though. Days gets red through the wall.
No, good luck, my friend.
That fight. It's in the 1v1 though. Has the
hey, listen, I failed my first time doing my driver's test.
But in the meantime, if he goes down early, that Venom being
I did everything correct. I did the 3-point turn correct. The only reason they failed me is because I didn't come to a complete stop at the stop sign. I did like the, what's it called, the California roll.
Available just yet. Logan instead going to launch crystals through the side of LUNEX on the defense, and the copy comes through. Boundaries available. Going to wait potentially a little bit, and there is the commitment now after the dance floor goes out for just a short while. You don't always need to ult instantly. Keep that in mind, as sometimes you can find value in using some of those other cooldowns first. As goodbye now to the boundary. Here goes that Meteor M. Logan dropping back, getting pressure here by Kraz, who lands on that health pack, and that is unfortunate if he finds one. Days able to take out Tones, evening the numbers once more. Commitment from Regis and Silent here from LUNEX, and Tico with the end song. Forky holding on to the dance floor. Kraz still has that answer, and will that ultimate come through? It does. Freedom charge now also, folks, will charge up that backline. Whoever goes in it, 20% faster on the ults is value, but iffy.
Ooh.
By Valentina.
Yeah, excellent job to find the cap ult, but is that enough for the side of LUNEX? Maybe they find Forky. I mean, Silent goes down to Kraz on the opposite side. Portal from the defense as well allows LUNEX to hold for a little bit longer.
LUNEX is a great team. I just don't understand.
Trying to evade the damage on the other side, so that's 2 off maps in this situation. Maybe that one looked like a little bit more pressure towards him. Kraz finds Logan at the very least, so even though they've lost one after another, I mean, Kraz kind of brings it back. This is making these fights a little bit odd and kind of make them indecisive. Scatter came back onto the Angela and finds Iffy, so they've kind of split up LUNEX as well, finding one after another, and even though we lose Days in the middle of the fight, we're still up. At the end of the day, Green's used, obviously, to help peel and play that objective, but there's no more portal now for this defensive side. Tico coming back onto Dr. Strange regardless, but Logan goes down, then Silent Blaze. Hold by LUNEX, actually kind of impressive, about 3 minutes for their side. But regardless, Swamp Gaming will get it done, move to second phase.
Again, in a moment where it's getting a little dicey for them, they step up. Great play there, and honestly, great switch by Scatter here, looking strong on the Angie. Not sure if that switch is going to last long. Looks like I was going to say it might be heading to the spawn door there, but no, instead just going to play around point, protect that backline, peel a little bit while Kraz takes the space, allowing Days to make some plays, and that was an unintentional rhyme, but sometimes comes out like that as we see more commitment. Swamp going to be up in ultimates here. Does have to let the devil out. No answers right now for LUNEX.
That's my. I don't know if I'm
happen here. He can
disconnecting
try to take and own this space, stopping the cart for just a short while. There it is.
And I have seen people equate you to Eminem.
Hello?
You know, of the Marvel Rival scene. I have seen that, but everybody coming back to peel the dive. In the meantime, still pushing.
My computer?
Scatter again.
The dying?
Over to the Angela, able to find Silent Blaze. Excellent pick from him. Days That's a double on the top side, and oh my goodness, goodbye, Logan.
Dude.
Disgusting. Yeah, like you mentioned, bro, gross.
Oh my God, dude.
Look at that, Daze. Stop it. Somebody stop him. I mean, you can't let DD through, I guess, when Daze is on the opposition. That was perfect
if you ban Daredevil, he's just going to play Wolverine, and you're still going to get rolled by Wolverine. Yeah, Daze, I don't know who Daze is. I haven't seen that guy a lot, but he's disgusting.
Just ain't it, because they are silly geese. If you watch something like that, more commitment comes in. The Heaven's Descent lands. Another 3-piece. Kraz, Daze, and a Median, and that might be it here for LUNEX. The stall for a brief moment from Iffy, but I don't think he can last long here as the commitment from cooldowns goes out. Feast of the Abyss should buy a little more time. Dance floor goes out to keep the team healthy. Daze, though, is still able to find it through the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one after another.
Yeah, I don't understand that. How is it when another Daredevil is popping their ult? How do you make the other team's Daredevil go blind when he's already blind?
All of the pocket on himself, in fact, with his own Snowflake and Idle, but once his invisible boundary run out, LUNEX have nothing. Tico in the Phoenix ultimate to help stall, but that's going to do nothing. Diddly squat. LUNEX are done. Swamp Gaming 3-0 in our very first match of the day. In
hey, that was a 3-0, but that was a very close 3-0.
A lot more decided, right? Like that kind of looked like what we expect from Swamp just based on stats in the past, but LUNEX really stepped up. I would say map 1 and 2 didn't get to show off as much of what they got there on 3. Just don't think they were as comfortable on the map comparatively to what they had prior. But yeah, I mean, I do think it could have been a very different story if there was a little more clutch there from LUNEX. Again, that will come with time.
Wow, Daze 32 and 6 with 17 final hits.
And a very scary team to go against. And Zoe, I'm sure, is gonna
29,000 damage done by a maiden though on the.
Was kind of close, right?
Yeah, this is one of those scorelines where it may fool you into thinking that, oh yeah, obviously Swamp Gaming just rolled over the opposition. Of course they would be. We're looking at like LUNEX, right? The MRC team that just happened to find themselves in this situation due to some quote-unquote lucky victories. But that is really not the story here. LUNEX made them sweat. They made them work hard for it. And they very much deserve to be here. If their last few matches are any indication of how they can punch up and play with the big guys, and they're a formidable opponent. So yeah, in that lower bracket.
Which teams are next? Next game is actually going to be really good as well. We have
in the end
Space Station Gaming against 100 Thieves.
It was as much Swamp Gaming finding their stride and their tempo as it was LUNEX just kind of losing steam there. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to have the right answers. I think that started already with the ban phase here for this particular last map.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of goes back to, what we're talking about. Like, it's hard to ban
against
these
super
flexible teams. Like, with Daze coming in.
$8.2 million.
God, and then Daze kind of goes to whatever.
The 5 people who voted on LUNEX.
So, like, there was no
2 gifted subs right now. I'll give you $8 million. No, that's fucked up, chat. That's fucked up.
Gaming be unbannable. Like, what is the, what's the play now versus the Swamp
Gaming
Gaming
squad?
Because they